Hey there guys, welcome back. Today we got something super exciting. It isn't obvious by the title of this or by, your interest or where you found this video. Today we're going to be covering Nameforge. This is a killer, not really an app, but it is an app, but it's not. It's a technology-based mentalism reveal, not even effect in a way, but it is an effect at the same time. There's so much that can be done with this, and I've spent the last 2 or 3 weeks playing with this particular piece of awesome. Now, for those of you watching, I'm going to tell you right away, if you're an Android user, I'm sorry, this is not for you. Skip on by. We have plenty of other things on the channel that are Android working things, but this does utilize something within the iPhone to absolutely create the most compelling, arguably best style of revelations possible that really create a kick-in-the-teeth ending to any kind of mentalism routine. So what we're going to do here in a moment is I'm going to show you kind of a quick demonstration of what this would look like, what this feels like. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and roll that intro. Okay guys, welcome back here to Mystery Arts Inc., the one-stop shop, or Jakob, whatever the hell we're calling this channel anymore, I don't know. But welcome back, the one-stop shop for everything you need to know about mentalism, magic, hypnosis, you name it. We're just, if it's a weird thing, I'm probably interested in making a video on it. And while this is another review, we're trying to move away from the reviews, and this is going to be kind of a part one, because I really wanted to wait and do this review when I had the new PETA smart printer on hand. Now that being said, don't let that deter you. This thing still works without that. Just I think with that or something like glyphs, which I do not own, but you should definitely get glyphs. It's if you're a professional and you can justify the price tag for glyphs, it is the best I've heard on the market. And I've seen it live. I've met Mustafa. He's demoed it for me. It's crazy. But before that, let's go ahead and look at what this is. So what basically we've got here is this. I'm going to show you really quick what this looks like. So in my notes here, you can see I have this shopping list right here, right? And we will get back to that here in a moment. But in the meantime, what I want to do is try and see if I can intuit what it is that you are going to be able to pick, what you're going to pick up basically at the supermarket. So obviously not you, the viewer, but we're using this as a hypothetical participant as a spectator. So the spectator would then, let's say, and this is only one of various things you can do, but let's say, for example, how I've been kind of using it lately is, say we had a sticky note, and if I can figure out which side this comes off, there we go. We take a sticky note, and let's say that we stuck it here to the back of just a box of cards. We gave them a Sharpie, and they said, no, listen, I want you to write down something that you would be picking up at the supermarket. It could be an item, it could be anything, but something that, I wouldn't easily be able to guess, right? Or maybe something I would be easily able to guess. Who knows? You could be trying to double bluff me. I don't even know. But that being said, let's say that they take it and they write on here, sight unseen to you, pancakes. Make sure I get that nice and big, and they write down pancakes. They take that sticky note off and they keep a hold of it, and they, put the box to the side, right? So they cap the pin, of course. And at this point, you tell them, well, okay, cool. So obviously, I have no idea what it is you went for, but how cool would it be if we happen to be going to the supermarket for similar things? Or what if the ingredients on my supermarket list happen to be what it is you're trying to make? So maybe they think of a food and you do that way. That's actually a really cool premise. Didn't even think about that. Thought of it in the moment, so steal it from me. But what you do then is you say, well, have a look here at my shopping list. Do you see your item anywhere on the list? You don't. Well, this is awkward. So you don't see your item anywhere in the shopping. What was your item? Oh, pancakes. Okay, well, I guess this royally screwed up. But wait a second. If you actually look, because you notice the first item on my, if I can get my finger right, the first item on my list is Parmigiano, so Parmesan cheese. Next, it's artichokes, and then Nutella, and then coffee. Wait, that's P-A-N. Then coffee is C, allspice is A, kumquat, which is the K, and then edamame and sprout, that's actually pancakes. I think that we might have misunderstood what I meant when I said you are going, if we had similar ingredients to what you're making. And there you go. It's basically that. That's one of multiple different outputs you can do on this crazy, crazy thing. Oh, it's so cool. This is so neato. And now some of you might be wondering, well, you know, you couldn't have got it from there to there. But yes, I did. There's actually inside of my cards here. Those of you that know me, know the channel relatively well, I have a full deck of cards in here. But I also have my pita pad, one of them, actually in the box, which is there ready to go. And is what I use for this particular piece of Strange I showed you. Now you can also obviously put that into the pad or whatever, but you don't need a pita pad or anything for this. There's so many other outputs, or inputs I should say, whether you're going to use somebody that's already an inject user. I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. So let's go back to the home, and it looks like an app right here. You can see Nameforge is this little icon down here. When I click it, you see it doesn't open quite like an app, because this is what uses a unique thing inside of the iPhone known as a shortcut. Ta-da! And now you're thinking, well, shortcuts, that just means that, you know what, how's my purchase safe? Can't anyone just like, you know, send the shortcut and that's it? No. That's the cool thing. So you'll see the Sherlock ID up here. What this basically means is you can't share this sumbitch. This guy is going to stay personal to you, and try as they might, others are not going to be able to take it. So that being said, let's go ahead and start looking into what is under the hood on this Mamma Jamma. So you see the latest version 1.2 of recording, today being April 23rd, 2024. And I'm sure this will grow even more with the tutorials in here, the settings. You see perform, copy to notes, shopping list. That's what I've just done for you right now. But let's have a look at the settings. I'll show you some other things you can do. So you can see it's a very professional, how it's laid out and everything. Super easy to navigate, super quick to load. But let's say we go in here and I load a different list, right? So in here we have different lists. I've got one list I've created. So we have names, adjectives, objects, locations, a shopping list, which I used for this. But I have one list on here that's unique. And that's my Dynamite Mentalism list. And this is something free for all of you that are, you know, watching this. If you have Nameforge, just go on the Facebook group. I'm going to share actually the list so you can go through and copy and paste like I did and put this in here, because I think this is really cool. For those of you that are familiar with like Luc Germain's, you know, From the Notebooks, Volume 1, the ill-fated series that never got to Part 2 for unknown reasons, or Germain's Mind, his Mind Museum in here, this uses that as an output essentially, right? So it's got Dynamite Mentalism phrases, and I'll just show you, okay? So let's go ahead and change the list to Dynamite Mentalism. How about that? So we click yes. Boom, you can see. And what this is now going to do, so you can see we have the input is copy, but we can have any kind of input. Say we want to have a user input, right? Instead. Or notes, or inject, or get copy text, which I've got. Or if you get the Lumen Pro, it's already factored in here, which is pretty cool. So if you're one of those Audience Wonderland Lumen Pro people, you've already got your goods in here. Phone words, which I don't really know, but it's apparently cool. And then the Stranger System, which is Jonathan Levitt's beast of an app that is just killer. I really kind of want it, but also, yeah, it's on my list. It's on my list. I don't need more stuff going into my head at the moment. But anyway, you can choose the outputs. In this case, I've got notes on here, but there is an API, which for those of you that aren't total nerds like me, the API basically means that you can export the forged, which forged being the kind of acronym style thing, like in the case we had here for pancakes, the PA, it can export that out to different things. So if you want to reveal this, say, on something like, I don't know, like icons, I believe it's called, which is where the revelation happens on like the think of, and then it's spelled out in your app's homepage thing. You can export it to that. You can export it to all kinds of different things. You can export to Hydra, which as you can see is already factored in here. Glyphs, which is what's super powerful, where you can actually, you know, basically have a printed list on here that, you know, you can pull out of your pocket and show to somebody. You can switch in to make it a really killer effect. The Glyphs is so cool. That's Mustafa. that's got that. So if you're somebody that has the right need and price point for glyphs, I highly suggest you invest in glyphs. It's a killer piece of equipment. I've seen it live and in person. I don't own one just because I can't justify the purchase and the price and everything. Unfortunately, I'm not really professional, but maybe someday I will invest in a glyphs. I really should, honestly. That all being said, let's have a look here. So the stranger system, so this can also send to your stranger. So, in that, when you have this sent out to somebody to be your stranger in a call, this can be sent to them so they can name, say, like the things. What would you pick up at the shopping? What would you pick up at the grocery store? Oh, I'd pick up peppermint, blah, 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 and you keep going like that, right? They can say that out clearly. You can also go to a chalkboard photo, which is a photo actually inside of your Photos app that has like a chalkboard and written on the chalkboard or those things, right? Or you can go to a custom photo, which you do need to pay extra for. It's why the lock's next to it. I don't know how much it costs. I've never explored it, but say you want to have a photo of you, I don't know, holding a notepad right here, and the things were on it, or a whiteboard or a blackboard or whatever the hell you want. You can do that too. So really cool stuff. But let's go, and UL scheme, I don't really know what that is, but that's all right. So let's go back here, and then you can see things like the word grabber. That's really cool. So if you have multiple words put in, so let's say somebody, instead of just writing pancakes, wrote down 3 things they wanted, like they could get like pancakes, apples, and then pancakes, apples, and then I don't know, crack cocaine. I don't know, whatever it is. They can basically put that on there, and then it will grab whichever word you choose to do the first, the second, or third, or all of the words, which gets a bit wordy at that point, but that's neither here nor there. So select it to all words for now. But you can see I've got the list being dynamite mentalism, the input being copy from clipboard, and then the output being notes. Right? So that's all good. And there's all kinds of other settings in here, but that's outside of really what this video is about. I'm going to try and be as brief as possible, but show you all what's going on here. So what's going to happen now is that if I hit perform, copy to notes, you'll see that's running. For those of you that have the newer iPhones that have the dynamic island, it'll show up there, but you can just swipe it off, just like I'm going to swipe off here, so that way it looks like nothing's going in the background. I'm going to wait for 2 vibrations. There it was, 2 vibrations right there. That tells me Nameforge is ready to go. So now I'm good to go here. So let's say that we either use my PETA pad that's inside of the notebook, or I've already got it synced up to the one that's inside of the card case here. So now what I can do here is say open my PETA app, right? And then let's go ahead and give them, let's go ahead and do this, and then do exactly like I did before. Just take the stick, I'm going to take the sticky note, stick it on there, and like say, hey, why don't you just think of, I don't know, a name of a best friend. We're going to try it, and I'm going to try and work out, or whatever your function your reading would be. This would be in a reading situation, right? So maybe, yeah, they think of the name of a best friend from school, and that's going to be their target thing, right? So let's say that they did Alan. So you can see that the app's recognized it. This would obviously be face down on the table, so it's not visible, or you could put it into, your black mode and just kind of peep down and see that it's got it. What's going to happen now, because I've got the PETA app set to, yep, there it is, set to basically copy to clipboard is the output on PETA, on the PETA app. It now is going to go into Nameforge, and it forges this and opens this list up. So this is the shit. I didn't change the total, and this should be, say, impressions, but shopping list. And this is the PETA Sharpie, by the way. We have a video for this coming up. I have a video I'm planning on making for this soon, like maybe in the next 10 minutes even soon, but we'll get back to that later. This thing has it's great, but also has its problems. We'll go into that later. But anyway, so you can see now it's created a list. So you can see we have another career, love in question, learning to laugh, ambitions that are not met and no one believes. So these things I can then show them to the sitter and be like, which one of these are most relevant to you right now? They tell you, you deliver your reading, boom, 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 and then you maybe you say, now it's weird because sometimes things come to me in different ways, blah, 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 blah. And the cool thing is you can just do this reading, apparently do this along the way. Okay, I'm picking up one thing. Oh, you're going to go ahead and change this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, blah, blah, and change this. And each time it's picking up the phone, putting it down, picking up the phone, putting it down. So you can also get a peek of the name from this as well, which is really cool. So that's another interesting thing you do at Nameforge if you want to get kind of clever with it. You can also use it functionally. Instead of just revealing it, you can have it be something that you use to peek whatever it is. A lot of people don't talk about that, and it's kind of a weak thing because I think the reveal is really cool. But you can do that too if you want to get real sneaky with it. But this is nice because then you can do your impressions. They select which one is most relevant to them. You deliver them a quick reading and say, now this is the interesting thing. The name you went for, it wasn't Doug, was it? No. Oh, okay. What was it? Alan. Okay, I wouldn't have got that. That's interesting. Well, here, let me send you this little bit of impressions. You send them that, and then boom, they can kind of you can let them discover it themselves, or just lead them discover it themselves. But it's a really cool reveal where now we have that spelling it out. Now, let's say you're looking at this and you're going, well, that's great, Mr. Dude, but I don't want it to be that overt of a reveal. Well, you can go in here too and do, if we go to settings, and we can do an anagram mode, which we can turn on here. What that means is it'll change that out. So instead of saying Alan, it might be like Noah or whatever. It just changes up the order of it, right? I don't care for that because I don't really run when I'm not being chased. But there's so many different settings in here you can do. So if I edit the title of the notes, I can, change this obviously from shopping list, or what should have been, which would be impressions, whatever I want. So I can just go back and do that. But it's highly customizable. There's so many different ways you can go into it. So say you want it to be signaled. I've just got it on the vibration signal, but it can also notify you the sound, lock screen, signal. It can do all kinds of stuff so that this thing is working like it should. I personally just like the vibration because I can tactily feel it in my buttocks or hear it on the table pretty easily, or just have my hand on it and feel the buzz. It's easy that way, right? But there's a lot you can do with this. This is a very surface level look of what you do basically with Nameforge, and man, is this thing cool. This thing's got a lot of stopping power to it. It really does kind of blow my mind that there's not more people kind of talking about this, exploring this. Yes, it's a very long topic on the Great Green Room like I've seen, but I know at the same time this should be something that's on more people's radar. So all that being said, this thing is absolutely a killer. So if you're interested in this and you want to pick this up, there's only one way to do so. This is not meant to be something that everyone can have. This is a pretty exclusive little product here, right? And I know that sounds like, oh, well, what does that mean? Well, it means this. In order to get this, what you're going to have to do is, I'll include the link down below here. You have to schedule in a call to talk with Paul and Philo. What they'll do is they'll talk to you, they'll give you a demo of this, they'll run you through it. It is expensive at $250 the time of recording this, but entirely worth it if you want to use this as a professional, right? Or even a little amateur like me. I mean, really, it's not like you're paying $1,200 for this. For $250, you can just make back drinks left and right, make back your money and have it pay. This thing's really neato what it can do. I know that Philo and Paul, mainly Philo, has been using this in his professional stage work. He was telling me the other day how he's been using the Stranger system with it and how just killer it is in the Stranger system, because it's great because whether you play it as a, like I'm doing in a reading context where suddenly then there's this little kick in the teeth reveal, or you play it as, I completely messed up and got all of this wrong. Oh wait, actually, however you play this, it's just really that strong. These acronym kind of reveals are just super sexy, super strong, and you really should consider taking a look at this. There's some great stuff here. All that being said, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed already, please do go down below and hit follow. Ding dong, ditch the bell. Don't be a douchebag, and keep up to date because we're gonna have more on this as I explore deeper into it. I've just shown you kind of the surface today. If you're someone's already an investor in this and you're somehow watching this video, go on, or you do invest in it from seeing this video. One, please let Paul and Philo know I'm the one that sent you there. But two, go into the Facebook group if you do purchase it. so that you can get the list for the Dynamite Mentalism. It does take a minute to enter in. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. And this isn't all rainbows and butterfly farts. There are a few things in here that do kind of suck. Because of the nature of how it's built, when you need to update, updating sucks. I'm going to probably have to redo my whole list again for my personal list, which is frustrating. But that's okay. That's okay. Because this thing absolutely slaps. And if you're somebody that really, really wants this, you know who you are, right? So all that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in again. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope this hasn't gone too long. Cheers, my friends. Pass on the good word.